Hey, Gary. Gavin Thomas.
Hey, Gavin.
A bit of a personal question. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's been starting a business with AJ? And pretend he's not listening. I don't know if he is or not, but be honest with us.
So, my brother AJ is 11 years younger than me. And my dad worked a whole lot. And so we're very, very close. And it's not like just normal brother stuff. You know, it's like brother-father. You know, like there's a lot of stuff there. I mean, you know, I was 17, he was 6. You know, so we're very, very, very close. But we're ridiculously different. And in that difference lies the opportunity for us to work together. You know, AJ's a lot better than me in a lot of things. And he's really talented and you know, it's been an amazingly good experience, you know. But the best thing that ever happened for AJ and I is that I worked for my dad. And I know when I was crushing it, and people are like, oh, Sasha, you're such a genius for putting on this, you know, wine library on the internet. I'm like, fuck that, I did that, you know? So I know that stuff, and I lived being number 2 and maybe not getting the credit, so I'm very, very cautious about that with AJ. However, you know, I'm a little bit more of a limelight guy. Maybe you guys don't recognize that, but I am. And so, AJ, on the other hand, doesn't. He doesn't want you tell AJ to go greet people at a door, it's just not going to happen. It's not what he's about. And so we're different enough. And more importantly, the same reason why libraries survived, and my dad is one tough, old school Russian dude. Just like with me and my dad, AJ and I love each other way more than we love the business, and that's why we'll always win.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Hello, so I'm Julie Krabel at Julesy, and my question is, I know you love the web and you love wine, so if you had to be on a desert island with only one kind of wine, unlimited, but one kind of wine, and not a varietal like an actual production, you know, year and everything, and access to one social website, so not like the search engine where you can jump around, what would you do?
I would have 1982 Salon champagne, and I would have jizzhut.com. Authenticity wins! Fuck! Why'd you ask that question?
Hi, Gary.
Man! I just lost 4 clients. Fight back.
My name is James Schreier, and I don't break the internet.
Nice.
So my question is for you. Me and my longtime friend are running a small creative agency. We love what you do, and you know, tweeting and all that. How in the world do you find time to do the things that you have to do to run your business and keep up with all this stuff?
I surround myself with really good people. You know, so, you know, it's very funny. Everyone's like, ooh, Wine Library, like an overnight success. I didn't take one episode of Wine Library TV until I worked in the wine industry for 15 years. You know, I knew my content, and I was building Wine Library. Wine Library was a big business before Wine Library TV. Sure, Wine Library, see, people get confused and think Wine Library TV was such a big shot of income. It was for this reason. I, on my back, took the company from 3 to 60. And, you know, when I used to be out for a week or sick, the business would dip. What Wine Library TV did was it closed the gap of me not running the business, so it like offset the loss. So it made like an even Steven play, but now I was on my way, right? And you know, now I have Vaynermedia, and I work on Cork, and I'm doing all this angel investing, and I have time to do all this stuff because Wine Library runs because the infrastructure I built in those 100 employees. Same thing with Vayner. You know, I mentor AJ and I tell him how to run a business, and I'm in client meetings, but we have 18 employees already, and we're scaling that. You need to surround yourself with awesome people, but here's the key. You need to treat those people like they're your family. You need to love them with all your heart, because they're the ones who make it happen for you. They're the ones who give me the freedom. If Brandon Warnicki tomorrow quits and goes to Chicago because he loves the Cubs so much, I'm in deep shit. I need to jump back into Wine Library and do some shit. So people underestimate that people are just taking things for granted. They take their employees for granted, for sure, and they definitely take their consumers and users for granted. And I just want people to open up their mind. The reason I can do all this insane shit that everybody else is like, how the fuck is this guy doing this for 10 hours a day and running all this stuff, is because I have awesome, phenomenal, ridiculous, greatest fucking people around me.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Hey there, my name is Daniel Turnerman.
Hey, Daniel.
At Reader Dan. And I'm very interested interested in back channel, and so I want to know if you were in the room for the Mark Zuckerberg and Sarah Lacey keynote
2 years ago? Sure. Well, I wasn't in the room, but I was watching it.
So what I want to know is, afterwards, there was two very distinct reactions. There was a reaction from the people in the room, and there was a reaction from the people who watched it online. Completely different.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, how do you think that would have gone differently if there had been screens like this in the room?
You know, I think it would have changed the dynamic. I think these screens are very fascinating. You know, obviously there's been some instances where people, you know, have gotten torched or been rude to, you know. It distracts people if the speaker's not captivating the audience. It's an interesting dynamic. You know, I think it can be very distracting, and I think it intimidates a lot of speakers, which I think is, you know, too bad. And I think that, you know, depending on how the, you know, the screen was playing, maybe Sarah would have adjusted to the reaction,
right,
and maybe adjusted the conversation.
Well, that's the thing. I think she got caught by surprise. She didn't realize there was like discontent in the room, and if it had been there, maybe she would have noticed it earlier.
Yeah. So, you know, it would have just changed the game, just like anything else. I mean, I think it's fascinating, and I love the ability to adjust on the fly. You know, that's what I love about you streaming with my fans. I can watch, like, when there's spikes or reactions. I mean, you know, watching real, you know, chart beat. You know, if you guys know that, so I mean, real-time data is just sexy. Thanks, man. Hey.
Hi, my name is Heather McDonald. I was one of the people on the Chevy road trip, and when we finished, it was like only 4 days, but we said, like, we don't know how someone like you manages to keep everything fresh and authentic and keep it interesting for your audience. I'm just wondering what kind of suggestions you have for people to keep it, you know.
Yeah, so first thing you should definitely do is be ridiculously awesome like I am. I don't know. I'm not joking. I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, here's what I know. Never sell out. You know, never, you know, I think what people do is they're creative, good shit's going on, it's working, and then they hit a wall, like you run out of content or something, and you need something fresh, and people start to panic. And then they start doing something spammy or something that's away from their core principles or beliefs, just because maybe something's not working. It's why I hate analytics. Guys, I really do. I mean, I know I need them, and I know, you know, big companies need them, and they should, and I get why. There's a lot going on. There's a lot less going on with Gary Vee than Procter & Gamble. They got a lot, so you need it. However, for entrepreneurs and small startups, analytics are scary at times. They're very valuable, and I don't want to disregard them. But too many people bail or jump ship because their Google traffic, you know, Google Analytics said their traffic hasn't gone up in 3 months. It's not a true indicator. It just isn't, and you need patience. No real business was built overnight. Your grandpa or grandma or people's grandparents in here that built business, hey, thanks for coming, guys. Thanks so much. No, they gotta go. They're hungry. Don't do it. They're awesome. Thank you. I mean, they didn't build businesses in 6 months. People build products and they're like, if this doesn't take off in 6 months, I'm out. What the fuck? You know, I just think that don't veer away from your core, and if things aren't working, think about what you're trying to accomplish, and just work harder and smarter, and bring in talent.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Joseph Dickerson from jizzhunt.com.
Big fan, bro, big fan. Can I take a picture with you after this?
No, I just really appreciate your passion, and I think that's what a lot of the people speaking here don't really bring, and I really want to thank you for that. I'm passionate about user experience design. I blog about it, I do podcasts. How do I keep the word out? Do I just keep grinding it like you said? Just keep talking about it?
I think it's a combo of content and community. The 2 core C's, right? Everybody was like, oh, Wine Library TV. Well, Wine Library TV was 30 minutes. I tape the show, and then I spent 17 hours a day in wine forums and wine blogs. You know, that's what I had to do. This was 2006. Twitter wasn't really out yet, except for the super in the no. And Facebook was still a college play, and I didn't want to be the creepy old guy peddling wine to the kids. So I had to stay away from both. So I went into my niche, you know, the forums, the blogs, and I became part of the community. And anybody who's not using search.twitter or going to Facebook fan pages and not becoming part of the community in their world, not spamming, like check this out. You know, there's a guy who started a new show, a new video blog show. He leaves a comment on my fan page every day. Straight spam, no interaction. He would dominate. You know who you are? He would dominate if he jumped in there and just started talking to people. But him just pasting new show, comment 6, new show, comment 6, he's not gonna win. And so, you know, I would scale and focus more. I mean, listen, content is king. And I always say, you know, that marketing is the queen and she runs the household. But You know, engaging in the community, that's where the magic happens. That's what people like. That's the real shit. And you need to spend as much time reading other people's blogs you respect and leaving relevant, smart comments because other people are reading it, and if you leave a great comment and they agree with that, they're gonna click on your name, go to your world, and now be in your world. And if your shit is on point, now you got a shot.